Hey everybody, my name is Seth Chauncey and I'm here with my good friend Donald. We are here talking about a land course that we just rolled out that we're very excited about. Donald, welcome. Thank you so much for hanging out today. I'm
Thanks.
very excited about this course we got going on. Donald, first and foremost, tell me a little bit about the course. What do you want to tell us about this course that we got rolling out?
Well, it's something I've had in the back of my mind for a long time. It is a particular part of real estate brokerage that I focus on. And I really feel in my heart that I like to give back. I like to help people be successful. And because there are so few people in this part of the business that I'm in this world that I work in most of the time, I realized that I needed to help brokers be more successful. I wanted to help people understand this, how I do it, what can be done with it, who you could use it for and with, how you can grow your business, and really so you can understand land far better than you do now. We all drive by a piece of land and wonder why hasn't it been sold? Why isn't anybody building on it? I wonder what I could get or what someone could get for that. The key to this course is to take real estate professionals out of the strictly residential world and bring them into the world of land brokerage, not hunting land, not emotional land, not farmland, but land that can be used for development, which is critical in most of the parts of the United States today.
I think very well said. Land brokerage is not going away, and that is the precursor to every other type of brokerage that we end up working in the industry and outside of the industry. I think it's a very valid point. Now, let me ask you another question, Donald. Why would somebody want to take this class?
Well, there's lots of reasons. In the purest sense, you're going to grow yourself, you're going to grow your business, right? Someone said, I think it was Jim Rohn back in the day. He's someone I still study today on Instagram. He's passed away, but he's on Instagram as if he's still alive. And he told me something, and he says it on Instagram if you catch it every once in a while in one of his courses. And that's, if you make $1 million, don't do it just for the money, but do it for what you become of yourself when you make that $1 million. So in the purest sense, by taking this course, you're going to learn something that likely you don't know already, or at least most of you don't know already. You're going to broaden your horizons as a broker, as a real estate professional. You're going to be able to look beyond the very focused world you're in today, right? We're all in, and I was a residential broker back in the day. We maybe can talk about that a bit in a little while, but you're in a very focused part of the world, right? You might be in the Triangle of North Carolina. You might be in the southeastern part of Massachusetts. Wherever you are focused in that area for a reason. The nice thing about land brokerage is you can broaden your horizons to deal in a whole state if you want. You're not trapped in a local MLS or in some very focused part of the world. So this really will broaden your horizons, allow you to kind of open your world up a little bit, expand your focus, and find more things to do, more opportunities, and far less traveled potential than you have right now.
I think that's very well said. I having the background in education, I think education and learning new skills, learning new types of brokerage is absolutely paramount in our industry. And this is just another way for some of our real estate brokerage peers to do this. How about the next question, Donald? What can they expect to learn? Why, when they come into this class, what's the big takeaway? What are you going to talk about? What are you going to teach them?
We're going to have them focus on land that is used for development. It can be a small piece of land. It can be a very large piece of land. But we're going to not focus on what we call emotional land. Emotional land is something that someone wants to be on. They want to live there. They want to be there, right? Whether it be a big piece of hunting land, a 10-acre piece that you can fit one house on. I would call that emotional land because they're going there for a reason. They want to be by themselves. They want to shoot deer. They want to go
Something
cabin in the
personal to
woods, whatever
them.
they want to do, right? But development land is something that people want to do something with. Typically, they want to make money with it. Either a seller wants to sell it and make a lot of money, or a buyer wants to buy it and invest in it and turn that into a lot of money as well. So we will teach them the difference between emotional land and financially based land. We'll teach them how to look at comps. Not all comps are the same. We'll teach them how to look at wetlands, soils, road access and egress, road frontage, topography, comps for the industry, how you can value a piece of land for a seller, which is critical, and how you can value a piece of land for a buyer so that they can get the most out of their investment. They can turn it into the most amount of money. So we basically go from point A on a piece of land to a full, what I call a 360-degree circular analysis of a piece of land. We look at the dirt, what can be done with it, what might be done with it, entitlement, zoning, you name it. Then we also look at what someone would do when they build a house on it. What could the houses be worth? How does that affect the price of the land? How can you use that to calculate more value for a piece of land, or frankly, less value for a piece of land? So we try to cover all aspects of a piece of land, and think of it like a circle, a 360-degree circle, where you start with a piece of land on a map, and at the end of it, you can value it from the cost of the land, to the development, to the entitlement, to the zoning, to the soils, to everything, and come up with a real value. And sometimes you'll be shocked. One of the things that you asked me earlier, you asked me about why would someone want to do this? Well, we have the educational part, and I believe in that like you. I believe very strongly in that. I like giving back to agents. I like being able to teach people a little bit more than what they know today, maybe a lot more than what they know today. But there's also the pure financial aspect for a real estate professional, right? If you're running around looking at $150,000 houses or $250,000 houses, that's fine. That's the residential world, and you can go up or down in that scale. And you're kind of stuck in that world, right? Whatever it's going to come at you, that's what you're going to get. I don't think I have a transaction for land that isn't in the $1 million or more. I have some pieces of land I've sold for $6 and $8 and $10 and $12 million. So there's an opportunity to really increase your business in terms of brokerage. There's also a real possibility and a truth, should you do this well, to increase your personal income significantly. So that helps.
I absolutely agree. Nobody can argue with making more money, as well as having a new set of skills, and of course helping people in the process. One last question for you at the moment, Donald. What really, and it sounds like you're very passionate about it, so I think we can all kind of speculate, what really made you choose to navigate to this style of real estate? You mentioned that you were in residential. Was it the money? Because obviously that's a big enticing factor for all of us. What really motivated you to switch to this focus in the real estate brokerage industry, if you will?
Well, I started out as a residential broker, right? Not sure why. My wife and I were flipping more than several houses a year down in the Wilmington area of North Carolina. And I was really frustrated with the brokers I was working with. And I maybe could have shopped around more and looked at different brokers, but I just get tired of it. And I said, well, why don't I just get my license? Because we have kind of an inbred amount of business, right? We were doing 8, 10 houses a year that we were flipping. So we could save 3% going out the door and put it back in our pocket. But I started being involved in residential brokerage. I was with a big umbrella agency, and that was fine. And I was kind of learning the ropes that way. But I've always looked at the things I do a bit dispassionately. I look at them like business, right? I enjoy selling. I enjoy talking. I enjoy that part of the business. But I also wanted to look at it and say, why does this do what it does? Why am I doing what I'm doing? And I realized pretty quickly, at least for me, that residential brokerage is extremely overpopulated, right? I think, Seth, you may know more than I, but I think there's like 130,000 licensed brokers in North Carolina, and maybe half of them do brokerage, maybe 2/3 of who knows what. But even if it's half, it's still 60 or 70,000 people that I'm competing with every day for residential sales, whether it be listings or buyers, right? And we all know what's happened in the last year with the buyers don't have to pay commission, all that crazy stuff, right? You don't have to give them commission anymore. They have to earn it. That makes residential brokerage even more difficult, right? I liken it to a pond, right? There are 50,000. Well, let's look at an area, right? There's maybe 5,000 or 6,000 broker sharks swimming in this big pond in an area. We're all looking at the same fish that comes into the pond. We all attack it. We all want it. Very few of us are going to get that. So as I looked at residential brokerage and realized really how hard it is, I would say that without any doubt. Residential brokerage is very, very difficult. It's difficult to do. There's an extreme amount of competition, Seth. There's a very limited amount of opportunity because everyone's chasing the same fish in the pond. And I just think that's very, very difficult. Your nights are not yours, your weekends are not yours, your days are not yours. And it's really very difficult to make money in that environment. You can, but it is really, really hard. And I'm not saying what I do or what I've come to do is easy, but I just saw too much competition, too little opportunity, a very, very difficult path to success. And I started looking at what else I was doing, because I was also doing land development work with some partners of mine. We were buying small subdivisions and redoing the lots and selling those out. So I was getting more and more involved in the business part of what we do, not the residential part of what we do. And I realized as I looked around that there was just no one doing that. I was working for a large umbrella agency. I won't mention any names, but they had 180,000 brokers in North Carolina, in North America. Of those 180,000 brokers in North America, only 2,450 were doing anything like what I had decided I think I wanted to do. So that told me I had a real niche if I did it. And of those 2,450, give or take, only half of them, if that's it, were doing it what I was doing in a full-time basis. So I'd like the brokers that are listening to this to understand, when we talk about land brokerage, it's not some old guy, selling, oh my God, I got some hunting land, I've got a farmer I'm working with. We're talking about working with clients who need to buy what you might sell or buy for them with them 8 to 10 times a year, right? When you're in residential brokerage, you're relying on someone you sold a house for or bought a house with to remember you 8 or 10 years down the road. Is that the statistic, Seth, that it's like every 7 to 10 years someone's buying
On
a house?
average, 5 to 10 years, people buy or sell. So yeah, not getting the same repeat business in residential that you could absolutely see in commercial, and even more specifically land, with those that are doing it on a very high level.
Right. So as a residential broker, strictly a residential broker, you're forced to be top of mind for someone that you worked with 7 years ago. So they might remember you someday to call you again and say, hey, could you help me buy or sell this house that we're looking at? That's once every 5 to 10, 7 to 10 years. I work with clients every day who, if they don't buy a piece of property 7 to 10 times a year, they're out of business, because that's what they do for a living. So the more I looked at this land brokerage work that we're talking about in this course, we call it, I think, a land field guide for real estate professionals, right? The more I got into that part of the business and realized how freeing it was, how untraveled it was, how unique it was and special it was, and how fruitful it could be, I realized I had developed a winner. So I have honed my business model to be that and only that. Now, I'll help someone sell a house or buy a house if a friend needs me to do that. I can still do that. But I have focused all that I do on this. And I am so busy doing what I do, growing my business. I really wanted to reach back and help. And that's where you and I got together to say, how can we do this to help brokers be more successful? And we came up with this land field guide for real estate professionals. And this course will take them from the beginning of a piece of dirt to the end and allow them to help their clients, both sellers and buyers, and make a lot of money for their brokerage and for themselves.
There you go. I kind of said it better myself. Donald, thank you so much. Folks, the thing is, we are very excited about this class. We have worked very hard. We've tag teamed it. There's a lot of information, and we're looking forward to bringing it to you folks. Obviously, we will be interested in helping you in any way, shape, and form. As an educator who teaches thousands and thousands and thousands of students a year, I can tell that there is a lot of real estate brokers out there that are very interested in commercial. They're very interested in land. And this is the opportunity to get your foot in the door and learn what you need to know to get started hitting with the heavy hitters out there. And so definitely take a look at the calendar. We're going to send out more dates. Get signed up in the class. We've got communities. We've got a lot of different pieces coming your way. Donald, anything else you want to say to these folks?
No, we'd love to have you take the course. I'd love to help you get better in your business and as an individual, and look forward to it.
There you go. We're looking very forward to it. Folks, one last piece here. I know a lot of brokers who have looked at land courses. There are some courses out there costing thousands and thousands of dollars for accreditations and things of that nature. This is a very affordable course. It's very comprehensive, and we look forward to bringing it to you. We'll see you in future classes. Hope you have a great day.
Thanks, Seth.
Thanks.